there's always something that needs a little fixing on Farpoint Farms.
Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint's Restoration and Repair Department, and holy cow, I have been waiting for one of these for about 10 years. Now, if you have been following this channel, you know that I'm a Harbor Freight junkie, but I'm also poor. So when I find a good deal, I jump on it, and I did. It used to be that you could find these 12-ton shop presses at Harbor Freight for $99 with a super coupon all the time. However, now they're $169. I looked online for months and months and months because I'm working on this Volkswagen bus project, and I finally came across a JEGS version of the same exact press. So if you have a Harbor Freight press, if you have a Strongway, which is Northern's brand, or JEGS, they're all going to be 99.9% the same piece of equipment. It is a 12-ton press. It is a smaller unit compared to the 20-ton or 30-ton that you might see in some professional shops, but that's a good thing because space is tight here. I was able to get this with JEG, had it on a super sale. It was 99 bucks. Woohoo! I finally got the deal I was looking for the last 2 years. But it did take 6 months for it to arrive. 6 months! It was on back order. They kept asking if I wanted to cancel it. No, not for $99 I didn't, because I think last time I checked, the price had gone up even more on Harbor Freight's site. But it is the JEGS 12-ton shop press, and we're going to go ahead and assemble it. And in a later video, I will most certainly be pressing stuff in and out with it, which is something that you don't see a lot of online. Is there's a lot of reviews of the Harbor Freight or the JEGS or the Treadway or whatever, Strongway, and but they don't actually show it in use. So in part 2 of this, I'll show you how to press wheel bearings in and out, or whatever it is that I need to press when we get into that restoration project, or 2. I've got 2 going on right now, so stick around for that. But today, let's assemble this thing. Here's the instruction sheet for it. I'm excited to play with it. And it's got just one picture, oh boy, and it just kind of shows a whole bunch of stuff getting bolted together. I would say not a great instruction. Wow, not great at all, but that's okay. I have all day and it won't take all day. I'm going to go ahead, I'll pause the camera here, I'll lay it all out, and we will get started. All right, well, I've got it all laid out here. There's not a ton of parts. That's kind of cool. Actually, most of the assembly required has to do with the base. We're going to put a base piece on. This part here slides, and it came with 2 really nice pins for adjustment of heights. And then this part sits on top and bolts to the top there. So not a ton of work here, but it is kind of heavy, so just be advised on that. And let's get this thing started. What we're going to do first is attach these side pieces together. And they sit in here like so. And then you have a centerpiece here that holds things together. And they're using these. Now the tools required, they're almost all 19s, but there is a 14, a couple of 14s in there as well. And it's nice, they all come pre-assembled with the lock washer and regular washer and nut on the bolt that you need it to be, so that saves a step as far as sorting through a bag, trying to figure out where everything goes. And like every project I do, I am not going to tighten this stuff down until I have got all of it put mostly together, because I have found that really speeds up the process of trying to get it all lined up. You don't have anything too tight. It looks like the press also has the ability to be anchored to the floor. There's holes on these side pieces here that would allow us to do that if we wanted to. In this case, I'm not going to, because I'm probably going to put this up on a stand. But we'll have to see how that plays out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. Okay, and let's see. Next piece goes top. There we go. It's a little wobbly, but next thing I'm going to do is install my pins. We'll put them at the highest position. And then we're going to slide our base piece in here. I wonder if it wants the... I think we're going to go with that, like that. Okay. And then the next part we're going to lay in there is this, which is our press head. And that doesn't slide all the way around. I'm just going to lay it down because once we attach this top piece, it's going to hold everything in place. So we want to make sure that we've got that pretty well set up. All right, so then we're going to put this, and I'm going to grab 2 bolts. Oops. And I'll put 1 bolt on each side, and then I'll be able to tighten everything down, which will give a lot more rigidity than it currently has. I'm excited to have this thing. A lot of times when I'm trying to press stuff in and out, I have to take it to town, or I have to do some pretty janky stuff, trying to get it all lined up and use a portable like a ball joint press kit. But those things tend to bend pretty quickly. They don't last but 2 or 3 goes. So 12 tons versus, maybe 3 tons. It's a fairly significant difference, no doubt. All right, so before I move on, I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything down so we get rid of this kind of wavy gravy wobble. And then we'll be installing our springs in our press, our pump, and that's it. I'm a little surprised that didn't come with a washer, but I guess it must not have the strength to need it. These are the eyelets that hold up the spring, and then we just hook these springs into place, and it centers in this hole up here. Okay. What I'm going to do before going any further, before I tighten these springs down, I'm going to go ahead and pump this up a little bit just to hold it in place. So I want it to be pretty well centered. And you can see it's starting to come up. Good. Alright, so let me tighten those bottom pieces up. The assembly has not been difficult at all. Alright, once I got the springs assembled, I can slide my jack in here. And what I'm going to do there is I'm actually going to pump it up a little bit, make sure that it's centered before I tighten down the eyelets for these springs. You don't want this thing falling out, so as long as it's under a little bit of pressure, even when it's completely released, well, you should be okay. There we go, right? So then I'm just going to tighten these 2 up here. There we go. Very nice. Okay, well, guess what? That's it. There is one thing I want to point out here. I've got 4 extra bolts. I know exactly where they go. But nowhere in this instruction manual does it show it. They're extra supports for right there and right there. Alright, those are 14s, but it doesn't show those in use anywhere. It's kind of interesting. That's okay. It doesn't even show the holes drilled on this model, so it must be an improvement over a previous model, which is no big deal. I will go ahead and install those right now. So here it is. It's all set up and done. You can see it's pretty well laid out. The handles on the side if I want to raise or lower. Nice pins there. I've got these 2 plates that it comes with, which is kind of cool. Very thick steel. I'd say 3/4 maybe cut steel. And you can place your items in there to press out, which is really cool. Nice long piece here for our pump jack. I'll loosen it up. Tighten it back down. Jack seems to be built of decent quality. Although in 2022 it's pretty hard to screw up a jack like this. But 12 tons, it's very firm. Any movement you see here is because this carpet, I got it on carpeting and there's rocks and stuff underneath it. But that's nice. Springs look like they're decent quality. I've adjusted it. It's pretty steady. I mean, you see it moves a little bit, but once there's pressure on it, it ain't going nowhere. And there's a little spot up here to lay that in there, so I'll probably do that. Or maybe I'll probably put a strap around it and just hang it off the side there. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So in part 2, I will definitely show you how to actually operate a press, because I think there's a lot of folks out there that don't really know what these are good for. I've seen a lot of videos. In fact, here's a penny on the ground here. I've seen a lot of videos of people just like, hey, let's check out how well it does, and they put a penny underneath that and try to smash it. And while I guess you could do that, that's not really what it's designed for. It's designed to press in wheel bearings. You can press in and out ball joints, things like that. Press bushings in and out of control arms, motor mounts, things like that. So it's a very handy tool if you have jobs that need it. And I do. So that's going to be awesome to have this here in the future. I guess that'll do it for today. This is the JEGS 12-ton press, and I hope you enjoyed the very short assembly video for it. I know I enjoyed making it. I'll see you next time. Take care.